So then since then you got involved with you said Team River Runner kayaking,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're involved with Valhalla Dive Group, which
Yep.
is a should have done a little bit more research on them, but you want to tell me a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah.
about them?
So the Valhalla Dive Group, we essentially certify new divers. We use a pool of veterans, injured veterans, and then firefighters, law enforcement, for all first responders that were injured in line of duty
Oh,
also
that's
qualify
great.
for us as well. And then we have a the by the mission statement, they have to be 50% or more disabled through the
Yeah,
a disability rating. So to sort of include the rest of the people and family members and things in that, we've started a dive club on the side that'll also sort of incorporate for as little cost as possible
that
those people.
sounds like a good like business model or foundation model. Is
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I'm really excited about where, we the first couple of years were a little bit of growing pains, but
what
we
what year did Valhalla start?
um, what year are we in now? 2017 was
Okay.
our first trip down to Bonaire.
Oh, right on. And you just got back from Bonaire,
I
right?
did, yeah. This is my third time. So
Yeah. How was that? Because I'm going in June.
I love the place, man.
Yeah.
You were there last year, right?
No, I went to I just got certified last year, and we went to Cozumel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, which was also incredible. I don't know if you've been there yet.
I haven't been to Cozumel yet. I went to Fiji a couple of months ago.
Fiji.
Fiji's awesome.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet.
Fiji is a terrible place for anyone with a disability. But
Yeah.
the diving in the country is fantastic.
Hmm.
So do you know where you're going at Bonaire?
No, I mean, isn't the island
Well,
pretty?
it's tiny, but there are different resorts and things there.
I forget the name of the resort we're staying at, but it's through Lifewaters.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bunch of Oscar Mike guys going,
Oh, nice.
kind of starting to develop like a dive program.
That's what Noah was telling me about. Yeah.
So we want to just kind of explore a little more options, and I'd be lying if I said I wish we could get more funding from Oscar Mike, because right now it's just been kind of out of pocket. But who
Right.
knows? Maybe we can collaborate and figure this thing out. But
Right.
you you were also while you were in Bonaire, you had like appendicitis.
I did. Yeah.
They had to yank that thing.
Yeah. Actually, I only got about 15 dives this time, which I was pretty bummed about because I was kind of on track for a 30-plus dive week.
Dude,
which is a big week.
you're just leaving body parts all over.
This was honestly, dude. This was my third foreign country where I've had an emergency surgery where something was removed and left there. Yeah. So the other two were Iraq and Germany. On the way back.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's kind of funny. And then I went to Haiti and got the dermal anthrax or something. I have a sample on file with the CDC right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Luckily, it was just the non-weaponized form that you get from the livestock, but I had to have it biopsied and the whole nine. So if there's a weird thing in a weird place, I can usually get that.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
just next time you go diving, you just gonna have to get like your wisdom teeth pulled.
That's
or
what we're trying to figure out. Yeah.
Get a finger amputated or
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
What got you into scuba diving?
The Valhalla. That was
Yeah.
it was the first time that I'd ever taken it sort of seriously because it's a little what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little pricey, a little.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Especially
there's a
because
word there that's not coming to me right now.
most of the dive destinations that you want to go to are all these tropical places.
Yeah, and they're down in the Caribbean or wherever, and then you piece and parcel all that out too. But you have to pay for the boats and the air and the this and that. So, and then just your equipment in itself isn't. You don't want to. you don't want to buy cheap because your life literally depends on it. So.
Right. So Bonaire 2017 was your first time
That was
diving?
my first. That was where I got certified.
Yeah. What was that feeling like getting under the water for the first time?
It was cool, man. I was a little nervous. I didn't know how like it would be, and it was just I got almost 100 dives in now in the last two years, a little over 2 years, which is a lot for a short, the amount of
yeah.
What
other certifications do you have?
I should have my dive master at the end. We're going back to Bonaire in September, and at the end of that, I was on track to get my dive master on this trip, and actually, I've got three more certifications to do. I was going to do one of them the morning that my appendicitis happened.
Yeah. And
then the other one down there, and then I just had to do a rescue course back here.
Okay.
So right now I'm an advanced open water diver. I'll be taking the rescue diver course at Yell Lake here at the end of next month.
Is this through Patty or?
No, we are SDI.
SDI?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Patty, Patty's good. Patty's more recreational, I would say, and I kind of want to transition into technical diving later on, and SDI actually is partnered with TDI, which is the Technical Diving Institute.
Yeah, I'm certified through SDI.
Oh, there you go.
I don't really know the biggest difference between the two of them, but I know SDI.
Patty's all over the world is the main thing.
That's what I've noticed.
They'll both take your money. So
yeah, exactly. I noticed that like SDI, they have a specific course for disabled divers, and then even the buddy divers that go with
September. Actually, we're going down to teach that course to the scuba-ability or whatever it is.
Scuba buddies. Buddy course.
Right, whatever it's called. Yeah. But I've helped teach that course a couple of times here. Because our founder is an instructor, and she teaches the course.
Yeah.
And then I've done the classroom portions here, helped teach those. Just from I'm not an instructor, but just from the perspective of being a adaptive diver.
Do you have a local dive shop that you work with?
Yeah, Adventure Sports in Gresham. It's down.
Are they kind of off like 84-ish?
Yeah, they're real close. They're in
kind of like in a business park.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I went down there because I bought all my equipment online.
Right.
Like on Leisure Pro, or I haven't been on that website in a while. It's dangerous. Right. It's dangerous every time I go on like a scuba diving website. God. I end up like, oh wow, that'd be cool to have. That'd be cool to have. Yep. Ooh, I don't have that flashlight.
It can be so geeky too, dude. Yeah. It's like golf, I mean, there's so many gadgets and things.
Yeah, different knives and different flashlights and damn, I forgot where I was gonna go with that.
Adventure Sports. You said that you had gone down there.
Yeah, they assembled my regulator set.
Okay, yeah.
And since then, I bought my own equipment because I was gonna go to Australia to dive in the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, the reef. Yeah.
Yeah, and man, it was a little bit disappointing.
Was it?
Yeah, just because it's all bleached out.
Oh,
and, yeah. When we went to Cozumel, there was just all sorts of wildlife. And
that's what you're going to see when you go to Bonaire. Bonaire, the whole island is a marine preserve.
Yeah.
It has probably, at this point, some of the healthiest coral on the planet. It's
great.
It's a vibrant reef.
Right on. Did you get to see any sharks?
So not in Bonaire. Sharks are very rare there. So there's not where you'll dive at. There's very little current.
Yeah.
And sharks like the current.
Okay.
That's how they hunt and things. But in Fiji, we did 4 or 5 shark dives. Like legit shark dives. Like we had this pregnant 15-foot tiger shark that was literally brushing us out of the way to swim by us.
That's so awesome.
It was sick. It was really, really cool.
I've been wanting to set up a proper shark dive.
Oh yeah. That one I recommend. I recommend going to Fiji, of course, but that shark dive was just unbelievable. And it was really funny because we did it the last day, and we were going out on a night dive the night before that, and one of my swim ankles broke, and and so the next day I did the 2 shark dives with no legs on. I mean, I learned to dive with no legs on. I dive with legs and fins now, but
Do you have a special prosthetic that you use just for diving?
Just they're the same prosthetics. I just bolt these. I have ankles that tilt to 70 degrees.
Yeah, just
allows me for the fins. Yeah, and but one of those had broken, and so I did the shark dives with no legs on, and there were 2 groups of people down there, and the dive masters from the other group of people were just freaking out whenever I came down. I was coming up from the shark dive and I had no legs.
It was just like, what?
Yeah, and my dive masters were just like screwing with them, like telling them that the sharks had eaten them, and like, it was pretty funny. But
do you have any interest in doing some like cave diving?
Yes, no, cavern diving for sure, and the what do they call them? The cenotes. Cenotes. Yeah. I want to go into the cenotes. I want to go, in particular, into the ones that have freshwater and saltwater, where it looks like a little lake underneath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I always said no to cave diving, and I still wouldn't want to be too cramped. I don't want to be anywhere I have to take my gear off and push it ahead of me, like that's too much. But yes, I would love to get into a little bit of cave and more open cave diving.
Yeah, I've seen some really cool documentaries about cave diving.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I got to find a way to do it. But then I was thinking like,
well, the cave divers use scooters, man. So as long as you can hold on, you should be good. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like, man, like all these amputees that I know like would be perfect because they'd be able to squeeze into tighter places and not have to worry about like, their fins kicking up silt.
Right. Yeah.
You'd be able to turn around, if you get into a tight spot, you'd be able to turn around a little bit easier.
Oh yeah.
But
and that's I kind of laugh, but you could be onto something with the cave diving. That may be something that would be more feasible without the legs, because they want perfect buoyancy and as little effort as they can. So they tend to use scooters and stuff a lot. So so it might be better.
Have you used a scooter before?
I have not. No.
What about a rebreather?
I have. That's your first initial step into technical diving.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm working up towards now. Oh. I definitely want to use a rebreather. They're a little scary because rebreathers can kill you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want to get into. And going on deeper, there's some wrecks that are down like 250, 300 feet. I want to be able to get down to those.
Have you done any wreck diving?
I've done wrecks. Yeah. You'll do a wreck. There's a great beginner wreck down in Bonaire called the Helma Hooker.
We did one in Cozumel.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was an old like Navy minesweeper that we had, the U.S. had sold to Mexico, and then they, after they were done with it, they decommissioned it and sunk it and made an artificial reef.
The Helma Hooker that you'll dive on down in Bonaire it's only sitting at about 90 feet, so it's a pretty easy dive.
Yeah.
And, but it was, I forget, maybe Chilean. I could be wrong about that, but it was. They found it with like 250,000 pounds of coke and weed and everything on it. And so the Dutch government, the Dutch Navy, sunk it over the reef on purpose so it could be on a dive spot. Unfortunately, they took all the drugs off.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what the effects of a bunch of cocaine and fish would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially like sharks or like octopus.
Yeah.
Just tweaked out, coked up octopus. They probably just wouldn't. They just wouldn't shut up.
But they probably
be talking up a storm and having fucking having discos and dance parties,
figuring out all the world's problems. Yeah.
Did you get to dive any wrecks down in Fiji?
Yeah, we did one. It was a pretty shallow. It's I don't know. I think the top of it was sitting in like 40 or 60 feet or so. But it was a cool wreck.
Yeah, I want to get out to what is it, Chuck Lagoon I forget where, but it's somewhere, I think, in the South Pacific, but it's like the highest concentration of wrecks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, the U.S. at some point during World War II just went in and just
Right.
fucked up an entire Japanese fleet.
I want to do the there are apparently planes scattered all over the Caribbean too. I'd love to dive some of those planes. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
North Carolina is supposed to have some really good wrecks too.
Like we're like Civil War era.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think some of them are World War II era. Though.
Yeah. And I know
sunken submarines and things
and I know
like
there's
that.
a bunch of wrecks like in the Great Lakes.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't done any cold water dives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you?
Well, no. Actually, I do my first one coming up at Yell Lake at the end of next month.
Where's Yellow Lake?
Yell, like the college, Yell Lake.
Oh, okay.
It's up. It's a tributary for the Lewis River. So it's up by like Lake Merwin, in the Cougar area.
South Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's pretty clear, and it gets pretty warm, which is nice for this area.
Yeah.
You know. And then there's apparently a wall. It's just like 20 feet, 20 feet, 20 feet, and halfway through the lake, there's a wall that drops down to like 200 feet. There's supposed to be all these old, like ancient tree trunks and stuff coming out of this wall.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be pretty creepy.
There was a place like that in Cozumel, and it was cool. I just went out to the edge with my buddy Chris, and we just kind of sat on the edge, and it was like sitting on the edge of the world, because I mean, you look out and it's just like a dark blue, and then it fades to black, and you're just like,
yeah, man,
dude, there's an entire fucking world down here that that we don't even know anything about, and we don't know what's down there, what kind of creatures are there, and it's just like,
well, that's the thing with the ocean, man. I mean, you know, we know more about outer space. You know, I think we're still sitting at around 3% of the depths have ever been explored in the ocean.
Yeah.
We don't know. They're like New Zealand a couple of years ago. They found a new whale species washed up on the beach. Yeah. There's a breeding population of the biggest mammals on Earth that we have never seen up until the late 2000s. You know, I mean, God knows what's under there.
And then imagine like the civilizations. You know, everyone knows and talks about like Atlantis, and they found it was on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts, I think maybe with Graham Hancock, but they were talking about this building structure that they had found, I think off the coast of like one of the Japanese islands.
Right.
And I mean, it was just like clear paths and like straight, like cut concrete.
Yeah.
And it was just like, how was this developed? And it was like, I want to say only like less than 100 feet below the surface.
There's more.
Maybe it's more. I don't fucking know.
Somewhere off the coast of Japan, there's like a man-made pyramid that you can dive on to this day.
Maybe we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's like no one knows, like,
right?
Because if you think about it, you know, with the ice age, like all that ice had to come from somewhere, and it was ocean water. So like our coastline, you know, 10,000 years ago probably looks a lot different than it does now. So.
Oh, I would imagine. I mean, you know, you're finding fossilized fish species in Illinois. You know, I mean, like it's just.
Do you ever watch, or have you watched Blue Planet with like David Attenborough? Did you watch the second one?
Yeah, Blue Planet. Yeah, we did. We watched Blue Planet 2.
Yeah, when they get under like the Arctic ice, and they're finding life, and you're just like, dude, I'm convinced that like any planet that has water. I think if you look deep enough, there's gonna be
there almost has to be
form of like carbon-based life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's you know, I'm only a year into it, but if I would have discovered scuba diving earlier, I probably would have just said to hell with rugby. Let's go scuba diving.
It's my new mission in life. I love it so much.
Well, just man, the freedom of like the water. You know, when
I was gonna ask you about that. So we trained a quad. You know Jeff DeLeon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we certified Jeff down in Bon Air
recently?
Last year, yeah. And we were having a little bit of an issue at first with him with his trimmers, we ended up tying his legs up,
Yeah.
kind of behind him. But then when he would go face down, he couldn't breathe. Did you find any of those same issues?
Yeah. When my head is below, it's just, I think it's because our impacted diaphragm.
Right.
And that's weird because Jeff is I think he's a
He's
low.
a para. Yeah.
He's a para. He's a low T.
Yeah.
Where I'm like a mid quad. But yeah, when my head's below my feet, it gets a little bit hard breathing. You just have to take short breaths.
Right.
And then upright yourself. But fortunately for me, I've always been pretty comfortable in the water.
Right.
When I got injured, I broke my neck in the ocean and was floating, face down for about 4 minutes before someone came and got me. So I've always been pretty comfortable in the water, and that's what I like about diving and swimming is like it's the only adaptive sport that I've found so far that you can do completely independent of a wheelchair or some sort of chair.
Well, and that was one of the big draws for me was I knew that I was getting, I'm 40 years old now, and I knew that I was getting a little old to get real passionate about some things that I would never be able to peak in,
Yeah.
And diving's one of those things that realistically I could do into my 90s, if I could still get up and walk around. And I tell people to this day, it's the most, I don't like being alone with my head. Like I constantly need noise or television or something. I don't like sitting with myself.
Yeah.
But it's as close to meditation as I think that I could get to. It's the only, when I'm under there, it's the only time that nothing on my body hurts and that I don't think about anything else besides what's going on in that moment.
Yeah, you don't worry about bills or VA appointments and medication lists and refilling prescriptions. You're just under the water.
Yeah, man.
And all you're listening to is just your regulator and then maybe what's going on around you. And yeah, it's one of those just like really good like trance sports where you just once you get in that zone, especially if like in Cozumel, when with the drifts, like dude, it just feels like you're flying sometimes.
Isn't drift diving the coolest thing ever?
Yeah.
We got to do there's no drift diving in Bonaire, which is where I'd done all my dives until Fiji. And we got to do some drift dives in Fiji. Oh my God, dude. It's the greatest thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be trying to get out. I'm going to Cozumel again in late August, early September. But I'm going to try to go out to like Puerto Rico and check out some of the diving out there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in 2 weeks, I'm going to the Georgia Aquarium.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude. Edie has been, my girlfriend Edie's just off camera here, but Edie has been dying to go to the Georgia Aquarium. They got a whale shark.
Have you done that?
Massive.
Have you done that dive?
What are you talking about? You dive in the Georgia Aquarium?
Yeah.
Shut up. How are you doing that?
They do it yearly. But I was actually supposed to text you, because this past weekend I was in Houston.
Yeah.
And I, one of our, part of the Lifewaters team, they live in Houston, and they actually, a couple spots had just opened up. I meant to text you about that.
Oh my God.
I don't want to make any promises right now, but yeah, let me remind me when we get off air.
That would be sick, dude. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks. It's Mother's Day weekend, but I mean, I'm sure you could still swing it.
Right.
But yeah, if not, we'll definitely keep you in mind for next time around. I think they even might be doing another one, maybe in November.
Yeah.
Because we had a group that had done it. I don't remember what month, but it was just last year,
Wow.
like right before Christmas, and they said it was incredible.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like concentration of just a variety of wildlife.
Oh yeah, everything's there, man. Yeah, that thing is. There are videos and pictures of that thing on Reddit all the time. You know.